I have to go on a little rant here. This is going to be about CPR and redoing it. If there's any professional people in a professional field out there like me in the lifeguard, or if they're a policeman or a paramedic or a fireman, the military may do it as well. You have to re-up your CPR every year. It may change depending on the profession, but for lifeguards where it's a critical skill, you have to do it every year. And it gets so ridiculous you would think that New York would have made it up. Because when I was originally taught it, compared to what it is now, they're like night and day. It's absolutely ridiculous. If there's anybody out there who is trained in CPR, and nearly everybody should be, if you can take a class, it's a very good skill to have. You might be able to save a life with it. It's almost like concealed carry, and you never know when you're going to need to use it. Uh, it's just so ridiculous because it changes every year, and I swear they throw things at a dartboard to decide what's going to change. If you hear me a little raspy, a little congested, I have chest congestion right now, I apologize. But it seriously is like they threw darts at a dartboard deciding which numbers they're going to put with what. It's basically CER and AED. CER, did I just say CER? CPR and AED, which is cardiopulmonary resuscitation and automatic external defibrillator. That's what the two stands for. I'm glad you need to know that. But what gets so crazy about it is when you're trained something, when I was training to be a lifeguard, we went through a 3-month course, and a lot of it was about CPR and stuff like that. You're ingrained. It's the stuff. You do the same stuff over and over again. You review it, you get it down. It's like, a special ops in the military. I'm not saying that it is, but, you do the same stuff again. There's a quote that goes something like, bad people or new people practice until they get it right. Veterans practice until they can't get it wrong. That's basically what it is. You're doing the same thing over and over again until you know it. I equate it to the tap rack bang. It's like, oh my God, I have a jam. It was a snap cap, by the way. And, tap, rack, and then bang. You're trained. That's how you do it. You're going to do it. Tap, rack, bang. You're not even going to think about it. Shooting, 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 and chamber a new round. That's like being told these random things that they come up with. Those things shot like freaking all the way across my room. That's great. I have to go find those things now. But that's like being taught, okay, instead of tap, rack, bang now I want you to tap, look down the barrel of the gun, I want you to look all over, I want you to point it in this direction, I want you to point it in a bunch of unsafe directions, and I want you to do all this other stuff, and by the way, I want you to learn all this stuff by tomorrow. Take all that stuff that's been ingrained in your mind and no longer practice it. It's so ridiculous. Like, for example, the chest compressions that you have to give when somebody is unresponsive and they don't have a heartbeat used to be 15 and 2 breaths. Now, it's 30 and 2 breaths. Last year, it was 30 and no breaths. The year before that, it was 15 and no breaths. Who makes this crap up? You're trying to tell me that there is a system that was deemed that it worked to save people's lives, that they came up with, CPR, we're going to train everybody on this, that it was deemed that this is going to save people's lives. And then all of a sudden, every year, oh, by the way, all that stuff you learned, don't worry about that. We got a good system now. It's like the human anatomy changed a whole bunch where a life-saving system that you learned a long time ago isn't going to work anymore. And it's, I also got to relate it to the gun again, and it still has the snap caps in there, all you safety Nazis. You have to relate it to the gun as well. That's what I'm relating to as I'm going through this class. That's all I'm thinking about, because it's like a stress situation when you're saving lives, and I've had to go in and save quite a few people. I can handle myself in a stressful situation. Some people say, oh, you go deaf and blind and all that stuff. That's not true at all. Some people are actually capable of handling a stressful situation. I mean, we wouldn't have things like SWAT teams and stuff if everybody just couldn't focus when there was a stressful situation. You can, but you're not going to be doing everything by the book. You're going to be remembering the basics. So, like, when I'm at the range plucking targets, yeah, don't point it at the gun, because somehow a bullet's going to go through my screen, into the internet, get downloaded, up to the satellites, down through, and come out your screen. When you're at the range planking off targets, bang, 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 you get a number in the ring, that's fine and all. And when you're doing the drills, that's great. But when you're in an actual stress situation, you're not going to forget everything, but you're only going to remember the fundamentals. You're going to remember that you're going to be pulling a gun out, you're going to remember somewhat of trigger control, but you're not going to remember, okay, I'm going to line these 2 posts up absolutely perfect. That's just not going to happen. It's like when I'm making a rescue as a lifeguard, I'm not going to remember, okay, did I do the stride jump absolutely perfectly? Did I do the breaststroke right? Should I have done the freestyle in this situation? You're going going to remember the basics, and as long as you get it done, really, that's all that matters. And when they're jamming these CPR things down your throat, like, okay, now instead of doing 15 and 2, which was acceptable for a while, now we're going to change it to something else. It's like, did it really change that much? Honestly, did it really change that much where you're going to have people remembering numbers? If there's somebody about to die on your pool deck, excuse me, you're not going to be remembering, it should be 30 and 2. No, you're going to be remembering you should be doing compressions. You're probably going to remember numbers like 15 and 2. You're not going to give the person 15 breaths unless you're a complete idiot. So if you do 15 instead of 30, you're probably going to be just fine. So having to require yearly re-ups for this stuff, it drives me absolutely insane. And then you're supposed to take pulses at different times as opposed to the years before. Does it matter? Oh, it's a little bit faster if you do it this way. Then train all of the new guards or all of the new other professional rescuers out there that way, and don't mess up the ingrained method of, all the other people that have been taught that method. It's insane. Why would you ingrain something into somebody's head and then every year, yeah, by the way, you can revise it for the new people, but I think the old people should still be able to do the stuff. It'd be similar for anybody that has to re-up every year on something like this. It doesn't have to just be specifically CPR. If you're a fireman or something like that and you have a specific way that you need to rescue people, if you're taught that, you're basically going to know the basics. If a few things change every year, you're going to remember the basics. The numbers aren't going to be really tremendously important. So, I don't know, it's just a little rant because I just had to re-up. I just got out of the class, and it was so stupid, the stuff they changed. It's like, okay, instead of checking for the breathing and then checking for the pulse, you're going to be checking for them at the same time. Do you think that the 1 second that it goes from checking breathing to checking the pulse is going to be the difference between life and death, whereas if you check it during the same time, they're going to live? I don't. You're not going to be remembering those little things anyway. Like I said, you're going to lose your fine motor skills. You're going to remember the basics. You're not going to lose everything. You're not going to go blind. You're not all that stuff. Anybody who's actually been in a stressful situation before, like I have many times when I'm making rescues and stuff like that, it's you don't forget everything, but you remember the basics. And so cramming new stuff down your throat every year is just completely asinine. And because I have 1 round left in here, 1 snap cap left, and I really want to have an Easter egg hunt finding these damn things around my room, I figure I might as well do that. So yeah, all right, that's it. And that's basically my little rant there that I just had to re-up with the CPR and how I'm not particularly thrilled about it. So that's it. Take it easy. And if anybody out there is actually trained on it, I would like to know. I would like to know if absolutely nobody out there has any idea what I'm talking about, or if you've actually taken just on your own accord or for work or something like that, taken a CPR course. Just because I'm interested, post in the comments. Thank you.